H&N 23 grain slug, 3100 psi, hammer spring screwed into the max, 50 yards. Wow. Hey everybody, welcome back. James here again with you, and what you just seen there was me shooting my Umarex Origin right at dusk with the 23 grain H&N hollow point slugs at around 3100 psi. The hammer spring was screwed all the way in using the Car magazine, and as you can see, I didn't do too bad. So here's that target, and 4 out of the 5 I had a flyer in there, and I've noticed that I've had flyers in the past shooting slugs, but 4 out of the 5 were a ½ inch, guys. So that is awesome. So I want to talk to you a little bit more about the Umarex Origin and why it is really accurate. For one, I'm going to compare it to the venturi Avenger. You may have seen my comparison on STKO, and I stated that the barrels are identical. The barrels on these guns are the exact same. The only difference is one is regulated and one is not. So obviously it didn't seem to matter much, because the reason I say this is these slugs, these 23 grain slugs, the 217, were going 650 feet per second, and in the Avenger they were going around, I think, 750, if I remember off the top of my head, 720, something like that at the muzzle. And obviously that doesn't seem to matter, and because they shot the exact same group, guys. The Umarex Origin and the venturi Avenger shot the same exact group with the same ammunition. So now I want to show you me shooting the venturi Avenger at 50 yards through the side shot with the same pellet, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So as you've seen there, both groups are the exact same. And that tells me right there that the velocity is irrelevant if the barrels are the same. And what I mean by that is, if, slugs, they state that slugs need a certain speed, and to me that is not 100% truth, because I have shot the variety pack, again, on STKO through the Avenger, all the different slugs, and 4 out of the 5 again were all a 1/2 inch, and then they were somewhat hard to chamber in the breech because they're so tight. The barrels are so tight and toleranced. And again, if both guns are shooting the same pellet or same slug, excuse me, the same dimensions on paper at 50 yards, different velocities, that tells me that the barrel dimensions are the same and that the slug or projectile, it doesn't matter what velocity if they're stable. And I think I'm going to follow up on this video. Again, I've stated that in the past that, if you're shooting the right projectile, and as long as it engages the rifling every time the correct way, the group shouldn't change. It's the trajectory if the velocity changes. So guys, I wanted to share this experience with you of me shooting slugs through this Umarex Origin, again using the 23 grain 217 H&N hollow point slug. And again, 3100 PSI with the hammer spring screwed all the way in. And I thought it was an interesting find that, again, 2 different guns by 2 different manufacturers that are probably made in the same factory in China are using the same barrel. Same barrel internally dimensions too, like the same distance between the lands and grooves, the same amount of lands and grooves. So I wanted to share this with you, and I thought it was interesting, and I hope you do too. So as always, guys, hit that like button and subscribe below if you haven't already. And again, I'll be going in more depth on why I say, that the projectile speed is irrelevant as long as the barrel, or the projectile engages the rifling of the barrel every time the same way. So as always, guys, I'm out. Thanks again for watching.